Ladies and gentlemen, just letting everyone into the chat here before we kick off with tonight's special guest. Welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just going to let a few more people jump on the call tonight, but it is always nice to do it live on the special time of Sunday evening. Good evening, Rosetta. Thanks for being here on the call. Good evening, Craig Kenner. G'day, Craig. Hope you are well, mate. For those of you who don't know Craig, he was there on the men's retreat a couple of months back and has been smashing his health and conditioning and fitness ever since. Well done, Craig. G'day, Deb. Good to have you here. Deborah Jane as well. Natalie, thanks for coming on the call, Natalie. Ross Anthony, thanks for being here. The Visor, whoever the Visor is, g'day, Visor. Trumpet Dan, good to have you on the call, Trumpet Dan. For those of you who don't know Trumpet Dan, he has been doing some outstanding work out there in the community, exposing the agenda. Huge respect for you, Trumpet Dan, all the great work that you do. Wilma is there as well on the iPhone, and a few people jumping in tonight. But it's a bit of a smaller call tonight, folks, and I like the smaller calls because they're a little bit more intimate, a little bit more chance for to get your questions answered. And you know, guys, I guess one of the things I'm really starting to realize is that health is one of the most radical forms of activism that you can possibly do. Let's be real, this agenda is trying to kill us. Let's not sugarcoat us. They've rolled out freaking bioweapons, they're spraying the skies, they are putting poisons on food and so on. But I think I guess the people driving the agenda don't like how resilient us humans are. We're very hard to kill, actually. we're pretty tough. So, you know, I think one of the most important things we can do is take our health very seriously. And tonight's special guest is going to help us with some of that. We're going to talk about a lot of things pertaining to health, wellness, nutrition, and so on. He's been supporting, our special guest tonight has been supporting clients in the health and wellness and sports industry for 25 years. He moved to Australia back in 2008 after completing his law degree in Europe. As a functional gym co-owner in Sydney, he used to help his clients kick their physical goals. He has 2 small kids, and he decided things needed to change. He left Sydney in 2017 and came up to this part of the world in the Northern Rivers. He's very passionate about gardening and gardening and also a holistic approach to health. He has a wellness studio called VAVI, which is only opened recently. I had the benefit of having a treatment there. It was actually incredible. We'll talk about more. But he's helping his clients optimize physical, mental, and energetic health and their overall body, using a unique approach that involves PEMF. We're going to learn about that, the rife machine technology, sound frequency therapy, and so on. Also, practitioner in Lomi Lomi massage and reiki and energetic healing. I can attest to that. Best massage, one of the best massages I've had in my life. Welcome to the call, Viktor Kolar. How are you, Victor?
Thank you, Dave. Good, thank you. And thanks for the kind words.
Oh man, you're awesome, man. I came across you, it's been, around a year ago or 18 months ago that we first met, maybe longer now, somewhere at the start of COVID, be a couple of years.
The beginning of the madness.
Yeah, it was right at the beginning. It's hard to believe. Actually, it's coming up to 4 years this December when the first stages of the boogeyman showed up. But before we get off the call tonight, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. Had a great weekend, had a good rest, had some beach time, had some friends over. Life's good. Can't complain.
Yeah.
We live in a paradise, so can't miss a day like being outside, be exposed to the sun, be exposed to the wind, to the ocean, all above. Good food.
Good food, good food, good people, good vibes. Victor, what I really wanted to start with tonight, I know a lot of people on the call tonight are obviously looking to improve their health. If someone comes to you and they're obviously this is a very general question, but what's the first thing you look at? Some people look at movement, diet, nutrition, hydration, energy, associations, people, places, things. What's the very first thing you look at when someone comes to you to improve their health?
You can't, in my opinion, you can't judge by first meeting. It has to be continuous communication, because you can't get through questionnaire or through talking to the depth of the problem.
Mhm.
But it's always good to connect with the people, which I love the body work. So that's the main approach I have, is a body work, including some of the high tech we use, either through the PEMF therapy or through the rife machine, which can do even biofeedback. So just like a getting more, not even talking to people, because they could have their own subjective views of their current state, physical state, or mental state, anxiety, sleep. Because what one says, oh yeah, have a good diet, it might be their opinion. It might not be optimal. So it just always, like, even if somebody comes, I think I'm perfect, there's always just one way to improve. The biggest room in the world is room for improvement. So take it from the beginnings, asking questions about the overall health, about how they feel at the moment, what they sleep, what their anxiety levels, what they actual medical state, and yeah.
Man, I know you're big into body work, and you gave me a massage a couple of months back, and the whole therapy, the whole session was incredible. You used so many different modalities on me, but the massage was very, very powerful, and the preliminary stages of that, you sort of had me in this very almost like a trance-like state. And then in the massage, it was extraordinary. It was like it's kind of like a bit of a supernatural experience. I know you're big on body work. Is that because it's able to remove toxins, doing that sort of thing, or is it moving anxiety out of the body? Cellular memories. What's your take on the importance of body work?
I'd say that the body work is almost like the portal to get deeper, because, like, all right, people come for body work. People come to me asking what they want, and I deliver what they need. So what you're saying, like getting into the state of trance or just like being really deep, that's the way, because we all know that vibration and frequency is everything. And delivering the right frequencies even before the body work, the right music, the right frequencies, the pulse electromagnetic field gets your body into such a relaxed state that the actual body work, the massage, is just the cherry of the top, where I can actually address any problem in the physical body much more effectively, because you are in the trance state. Because you are already, even if I didn't touch you and I just like I put you through all the gadgets that we have running, that would be the physical touch. Obviously, we all need physical touch. It's just on the top. And when I've been told, and I know that I have the right feeling to find the issues in the body, the knots, the problems, the ligaments, the muscles. But I believe that the crown jewel is the pulse electromagnetic field.
So say that again.
The crown jewel of the energy medicine is the pulse electromagnetic field therapy. The mat you are laying on.
Right. So this is where it gets interesting. Okay. So you mentioned there, you have a lot of gadgets. Now, most people, they might have gone to a practitioner, whether it be a physiotherapist or a massage therapist, osteopath, acupuncture, and so on. What I love about what you do, Vic, is you bring in all of this technology, which is all resonance frequency-based technology. You have something like called the Rife machine. You have this frequency mat that I laid on throughout the massage. So you were sending frequencies through my body while I was getting massaged. Like, guys, this was a cool experience. I thought I was just going over, for like a massage and a foot rub or something. And next minute I'm going next level. It was amazing. So
yeah.
tell us about, I guess, your arsenal, if you will, your arsenal of frequency weapons to bring the body back into balance.
Well, let's start at just like the biggest, the number one arsenal is your own body. When you come, I like to start with a bit of breath work, because especially if somebody comes for first time, they don't know what to expect. They don't know what to expect from me or like from the treatment. That starting with good relaxing tunes and the right frequencies I like the entrainment, the entrainment of the brain, where it just like it gets you down into the very relaxed state.
Mm-hmm.
And your breath is the best helper. You know, having like a 10, 15, 30 deep breaths get you into the state. And then I start with like usually like a theta style frequencies into the speakers. I have like a subwoofer under the table and 2 speakers on the sides. That the music is the second thing past the breath, and the pulse electromagnetic field full body mat, which excites every single cell in your body. And then I just like to work on what you describe, or had any client described what they physical issue is, then we can go deeper into that. You mentioned the rife machine, which it's very interesting. If you guys don't know, like a Royal Raymond Rife was a guy living 100 years ago, and he invented this machine where he found the right frequencies that could shatter anything in your body. You know, like you have an opera singer can shatter a glass with a voice, right? Because they match the frequency of the glass. And with the rife machine, we can actually address different pathogen or different ailments in the body. Could be anxiety, could be sleep disorders, could be pain, could be pretty much any ailment could be helped by applying the right frequency through the frequency generators, which is the rife machine. To me, that's a secondary. That's a great way, but the first and foremost is the pulse electromagnetic field. I would suggest everybody to give it a go, because once you realize how great it works for anything and anybody, it's safe, non-invasive, no drugs involved. Once you know how it works, I would suggest that everybody should have one at home on hand to use pretty much every day. For example, what it does, it could, you know, we are all electric bodies, right? You know that mitochondria is this little organelle in every single cell in your body, except red blood cells, and it's very important for the generation of energy, ATP. And the electromagnetic field, which is different to magnetic field of the static one that it's created by your TV, your phone, which is the harmful electromagnetic energies. But this pulsed electromagnetic is really designed not for healing, but for accelerating your body healing on its own by creating more energy, recycling ATP. It's opening up blood vessels. It's stimulating stem cells. So accelerate healing. I've got like a one personal experience in the last 3 weeks where my little one, 4-year-old son, broke his collarbone, and we were applying the field for a week. And after a week, he went for a another X-ray, and there was no crack at all. It literally healed in a week. They said like a 3 to 6 weeks, it would be need like having a sling and taking it easy, and literally in a week, it was healed.
You know what's crazy? Everyone's been waiting for these med beds that were apparently promised by the Great Awakening, and it turns out Viktor has the med beds down the road.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't heal anything. It just allows the body to create enough energy so the body has got the power to heal itself.
You know, a lot of people are starting to catch on to this, because you know how I've been using Celtic sea salt. I'm sure you have been as well, because sea salt is like salt's an electrolyte. And people say that the body is made up of, 70 to 80% water. And that's just not true. The body is made up of water and saline, right? If you taste your teardrops, for instance, they're salty. And so I've found out recently that around here, I cannot get Celtic sea salt anywhere from Byron Bay to Coolangatta. It's all sold out, because people are starting to understand the importance of conductivity for electricity and energy within the body. this is the sort of path you're going down, right?
Yep. Water, look, we are looking at, people say there's 4 elements in the world, right? It's air, so we need to breathe. We need to breathe oxygen. Without oxygen, we're dead within a couple of minutes, right? So having the habit of having daily conscious breathing exercise in the morning or in the evening, if we focus on the breath, and not only the shallow breath, like with our shoulders, but having like, you know, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and having deep diaphragm breathing, open up the lungs, oxidize the body very well. We can't live without it. That's number 1. Number 2, water. Good, clean water. I know you are big on water, and hydrogen, as you know, is very important for the creation of the energy in a Krebs cycle, where like every cell is creating literally electricity. And third one is fire. Third element is fire, which for us, that will be the sun. We have to be exposed to the sunlight to actually keep healthy, to have the production of vitamin D and different hormones, and to keep us sane. Without sunlight, we just go mental, and we can't keep and maintain the optimal health. And the fourth element is earth. That would be as a manifestation of food, right? So with good food, not without pesticides, like a clean made food by Mother Earth, not what we buy in a shop where they have to actually make a statement of the health rating. If it's got a health rating, it's probably not good for you. Now that's 4. And number 5 is the pulse electromagnetic field, which the Earth creates very weak electromagnetic field on its own. The Earth is pretty much like a big magnet. And if we are not exposed to it, we just get sick. There were study in Germany where they put a group of young, healthy people into a bunker where they were pretty much isolated from the Earth electromagnetic field. And within days, their circadian rhythm got off. They just had anxiety, and they got really like in a bad state just because they were not exposed to the pulsed electromagnetic field of Earth. When they introduced the frequency in the bunker, everything normalized again. So these 5 elements, if we keep in mind and practice and take a habit to do them consciously, which doesn't take that much. You know,
it's not that much.
It's not that much. But it's not what is important, not only like we say, clean water, clean air, because sometimes, or most of the time, it's not just about what we do, but more importantly, what we don't do, to avoid certain things, to know how we can eliminate as much as possible to be exposed to the toxins, which are in everything, but we have the ability. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but nothing worthwhile is easy, right? So if we want to keep the peak health or as optimal as possible, we have to be thinking about it and create habits. It's not just, all right, I'm gonna do it today and tomorrow is another day. Who knows what's gonna happen? We have to do it constantly, consciously, breathe, drink good water, eat good food, be exposed to the sun, and be exposed to the pulse electromagnetic field of the earth, the earthing. Everybody heard of earthing or grounding, where be connected either to the wet sand at the beach or barefoot on the grass. All great things, but it's weak, and the magnetic field of Earth is weakening. The poles are shifting, and it's more important than ever to supplement with Earth-based magnetic fields to activate the charge, to accelerate healing. It, as I said before, it doesn't heal anything. It just allows your body to heal itself.
Man, well said. You know, all these things you're talking about, I've found myself being drawn to naturally anyway, you know, and as my, I guess, my kind of health journey, for want of a better term, has evolved over time, I've even noticed things like if I'm walking off the headland in the morning to jump in the ocean and I have my feet connected to the rocks and to the earth and to the sand, I'm conscious of the energy actually transferring up and through my feet and into my body. And even something as simple as breathing, like breathing is one of the most powerful things that you can do. And I bought myself an assault bike, right? A lot of guys would have seen me, a lot of people here on the call would have seen me on my assault bike, which is intense cardiovascular exercise. And it's almost become like a form of breath therapy because I go so hard on this bike, I'm forcing my lungs to their ultimate capacity. And I was wondering, why am I getting so much relief of anxiety from breath, from this heavy breathing? I would smash out 50 calories on this bike, fall in a heap. And suddenly I'd lie there and like, all my anxiety's gone. All like literally just left my body. So the power of the breath to move these things out. I think a lot of us have been drawn to these things naturally. And the other thing I wanted to add to what you're saying is like with our water and with our air, they are impossible, I guess, to get 100% clean, particularly the air. Water is a little bit easier to purify and clean, but the air is always going to be contaminated. I don't know if you ever saw my interview with Ian Clark, but he was talking about, oh, hold there 1 second. My battery's going to go flat. 1 sec, guys. Better plug this computer in, otherwise we're going to lose the transmission. All right, we're back in the game. Ian Clark was talking about, if you look at tires, right? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of cars on the road every single day, their tires are reducing until they have to change those tires because they've run out of tread. All that tread is being ground up on the road into a nanoparticulate into the sky, into the air we breathe. We're actually breathing in a lot of rubber nanoparticles. So we can never really clean that 100%, but we have to be able to detoxify the body as well, because this stuff's going to come in whether we like it, but the body has incredible capacity to detoxify. This is why I always train. You see me training, I always train in a t-shirt and track pants because I sweat and your body's able to expel this sort of stuff. What would you say about detoxification, Victor?
Well, not only sweat is like how you detoxify, but even the breath, the breath, like we're getting a lot of toxins out of the breath as well, or through the urine. So that's why they say that your kidneys and your liver is the filter of the toxins which getting out. But now, like you say, sweating. So you're sweating through the whole body. But a lot of people making the mistake that they eat clean, they drink good water, but then they put a lot of chemicals on their skin in the form of different lotions and stuff that you wouldn't put in your mouth. My philosophy, or my and my partner Vasya, who actually helped me, one of the things we do beside the body work and the sound healing and the post-electromagnetic field, we do our own, like we got 2 products for skincare, and everything what's in it you can eat. It's beautiful. It's like a therapeutic skincare.
So you're saying if you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin.
If you can't eat it, don't put it on the skin, because it's the biggest organ and we're absorbing everything through the skin.
So what about let's say the shower gel I'm using? No good. I can't eat it. Tastes like garbage.
Well, you can't eat it. Well, we can't avoid everything, but we can avoid a lot of things, and it compounds. So I would suggest everybody to go through. So like my partner Vasya, she's a naturopath. She does reiki healing as well. We just alternate what we do, and she does the naturopathic lifestyle consultations, which this is a part of it, to just like go through what is your arsenal in your bathroom, what are you using for your skincare, what are you using for shaving, what are you using for your aftershave. For example, for after, like, I don't get much here, right? But like every fortnight I have to shave, and I use only like a MCT oil and some of the edible oils we have in our range, and I just like put a drop of tea tree oil in it. That's all I put on my face.
I haven't used deodorant in about a year now. I just don't wear it.
I haven't used deodorant for 43 years.
Yeah. Wow. There you go. And I don't get complaints that I smell. You know, I think if you're pretty clean physically, you're not going to have bad body odor. That would make sense, right?
Yeah, like, look, if somebody wants to use a deodorant, there are ways to do it. You can make yourself one just with like a bicep soda. I've never used even that, but there are clean ways you can use to eliminate certain smells. And we can use like essential oils to just like if you need to, or if somebody needs to mask, no, or they don't like their own odor, there are ways to do it without exposing themselves with more toxins that we are exposed anyway.
Man, how is it though, right? So we got radical weather engineering the last few days. I'm sure every single person here on the call tonight saw the spraying, and we know most of the spraying is heavy metals, right? Barium, strontium, manganese, aluminium, and so on. What I find interesting about deodorant is the active ingredient in every single well-known deodorant, like
Aluminium.
Norscar, Rexona, whatever. They're all aluminium, bro. They're
Yeah.
all aluminium. And it just makes me wonder. So as they're ramping up all these frequencies, the frequencies we don't want, the EMFs, the 5G, the 6G, and so on, if you can get people to have a high level of metals in their body, straight under the armpit, right? Straight into the lymphatic system, which already doesn't have its own pumps, right? It's the one system that doesn't have its own pumps. You've got to move to get the lymphatic system going. So we're going to fill the lymphatic system with lots of heavy metals straight into the lymph nodes. What everywhere we turn, man, they're trying to kill us. And I'm at the supermarket. I don't go there very often because I don't really enjoy it. But you watch these people, and they have no concept of what they're buying, and they put in the big jar of the big tin of Rexona, and they buy the fluoride-rich toothpaste, and everything they fill in their shopping cart with is pretty much trying to take them out, at least on the slow kill.
Well, I really believe that it's like healthy terrain, the healthy environment within your body determines if you will be able to fight off some germs, some virus, some bacteria, because in healthy body is healthy immune system, which can fight a lot of things on its own. But the more polluted we are, the more the body has to fight already with the toxins or pollutants, which is in the body. We just eat, drink, put on the skin, whatever it is, the less we are able to fight then something, the season of flu or whatever it comes. Right? So it's like if you have a bad soil, you won't be able to grow good veggies or good food. The same is in the body. If we are a big petri dish, as you said, we are mainly water. We are like a big petri dish. So keep it clean, keep it not polluted, and you'll be able to fight any diseases with ease.
I've got a question here for you, Victor. Someone's just asking about what you recommend for toothpaste. What are you currently using for toothpaste?
I'll be right back. I'll show you.
Stick around, folks. I hope you're enjoying the chat with Victor. He's a wealth of knowledge. I wish you guys could see his full studio there, his clinic. He has so much technology. He's like the holistic healer meets the tech nerd. He's got all this incredible technology in there, particularly the rife machine and the frequency mat. He's back.
Well, I don't know if it's the best one, but I'm using just like the mild mint grands, which is natural toothpaste with aloe vera with no fluorides, no preservatives. And I love it.
Yeah, beautiful.
And it's at Woolies. I don't go fancy. I just definitely want to avoid like any fluoride as much as possible. So that's my go-to toothpaste.
It's incredible that there's still fluoride in the water. I've noticed as well since using, filtration and like I'm using triple filtration at the moment. If I run the tap just to do the dishes, I can just smell the chlorine. It smells like a swimming pool.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's getting worse.
It's definitely getting worse, man. That's my guess is it's getting worse. Like I went to dinner the other night, right? And you know when you go to dinner and they put out they put out the table water, and like I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna have a sniff of this stuff. I'm like, damn, I've no way, because they give you tap water, right? They just fill it up in the tap. It's like this stuff that you wouldn't give it to your dog.
Yeah, the thing is that just the role of government or council is to deliver water without bacteria to your doorstep or to your tap. It's not their agenda or their goal to give you super healthy water. It's just there is water. You're not gonna die. You're not gonna get sick if you drink it right now. But if you drink it the whole life, it's gonna accumulate and it's gonna clog your brain, and it's not good. So good filtration is definitely a must for somebody who wants to keep and maintain optimal health 100%.
Because I also wanted to, I know we're talking about, I guess, physicality and biology and so on, but I wanted to touch on briefly with you tonight as well about, I guess, your mental kind of mindset. You know, like we've just had 4 years of relentless propaganda, psychological warfare, trauma, you know, mass formation psychosis. It's been full on. And, you know, obviously you've been awake to the agenda ever since. There was no way you were going to take any pokes. You saw through the whole thing. But how have you remained positive and not let this whole shit show get you down? Or has it got you down sometimes?
Well, I guess like we all are on a roller coaster, and I have I call it, I had a COVID divorce, and was like went through a phase during the peak COVID where we were going like to psychologist. And first thing when I went to doctor that I'm down, they tried to push me on some pills, right? And I never like, I don't even take a painkiller unless it's just unbearable. I rather just like work through it, live through it, breathe through it, do everything I can just not to get any pharmaceuticals in my body if it's not very necessary. And I'd say that the breathing and movement saved me from just like getting totally mental at times. But last 4 years taught me that, you know, there is no rainbow without a rain, and we have to have a bad days to have good days. So when I have a bad day, then I know that good days are coming, and I focus on the good days to come rather than just like drown myself in some depression or being down. Of course, we have it every now and then, but I work out, or I go and I breathe. I would definitely suggest, like, if you don't do actively some breath work, try it, especially if you're down, if you don't feel good, if you have anxiety, if you're angry, just sit down, close your eyes, put some good tune on, calming tune, and breathe through it. Deep, conscious, diaphragm breathing gets you through everything.
Man, I don't know if you want to elaborate, and feel free to tell me if it's not appropriate for the call, but you mentioned that you had a relationship breakdown over COVID. Do you want to elaborate a bit on that? Because I think a lot of us relate. You know, we've had relationships, whether they be our life partner or what we thought was our life partner, or friends and family who haven't really been aware or awake to the things that we can see. Do you care to share a little bit on what that was like?
Look, I have the resistance in me, resistant to authority probably all my life. And I saw through it straight away, and I was already doing a lot of gardening at the time, and when I garden I can listen a lot of stuff. So I do podcast, health podcast, was listening to people that we're supposed not to listen, and I can use my common sense and put two and two together. And but my ex-partner, because she's got asthma, and she totally bought into the fear, what was just like a put inside out 24/7 into us. And even me coming with the information from the other side, I saw firsthand how the mass formation works and how people are totally brainwashed into believing that this is the end of the world. And that was the big clash, because I, from every single cell of my body, knew that this is wrong. And I even had to fight that just we don't get vaccinated kids. So it was like a big part of the down that I had to, it wasn't a good time, but because I had a super bad time then, I'm having like a super great time right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I think that's been a big part of the journey for all of us, is accepting that we're just different. I don't know what it is that some people, I'm still have people in my life who, I guess we just don't go there anymore. They're still in the mass formation psychosis. They're not going to snap out of it. They still think that the pokes were a good idea. They're going to vote yes in the referendum. They're going to fly a Ukrainian flag on their profile picture. All of this, they're going to run. They're just going to run with the current thing. And there has to be some level of acceptance as well. I've had to learn when to step away. I've had to learn things in the conversations. It's just not worth going there. A lot of those conversations are dumbed down, but it's made room for other people like yourself to come into my life.
Yes. What I really think that there is definitely an information war and misinformation war. It's just like the misinformation is coming from the other side that has been accused from. And I had an interesting experience today at the Pottsville markets, where there was this stall, the Yes campaign, and I learned through the COVID that I'm not gonna go, don't do it. I just come and I ask questions. And I was asking questions, why? Tell me why. Why would you do that? This and that. And then we got to a point where I asked, and tell me now, why is Australia drawn into becoming a republic? And the lady said, because we need to become more like Canada. I just didn't have anything to say.
What can you say?
It was like, yeah, we need to just like a break away from the colonialism. We need to become more like Canada. Where I'm coming to is that people do not have the right information. So they believe in something which is not sound and which is misleading. And they believe it, and they're passing it on to other people actively.
Yeah, and it's you make a good point, because I think in their hearts they want to do the right thing. They think they're doing the right thing, but they're completely misinformed. And breaking that misinformation spell is very, very difficult, because unless it's come from the television, for most people, they're not going to believe it otherwise. I was in the IGA, the local IGA here, right? And every time I go in there and I buy something, I look at the little counter at the front, and they have all the mainstream media publications, the New Idea, the Telegraph, the Herald, all the gossip magazines. You know the ones I mean, right? And every day I walk in there, and in the morning the pile's high, and the next day the pile's gone, and they replenish it. And my point is that there's so many people gobbling up this fucking garbage on a daily basis, with the royals and these Hollywood weirdos and all these people from television, and they eat up this garbage night and day. And there's a supply and a demand for it. If the demand wasn't there, the publications wouldn't be there. And whether it be New Idea or whether it be the Sydney Morning Herald, the information that's getting into the majority of people is poor information, or information that carries an agenda to socially engineer the people.
Totally agree. the thing is that if I look at it again back from the point of view that, you know, when I used to have a gym in Sydney, which was, I was taking care of people only on the physical level, right? They come with a commitment and they keep the commitment for a week, 2, 3, someone a month, and they go back to their old habits, right? Because people are hard to change. And now people for 20, 30, 40 years, they have the habit, go and get the newspaper. You can't change it. People are used to do their things the way they do. They create a habit, and it's, if they don't see the need to change the habit, they're not gonna do it. So they're gonna go and they buy the same newspaper every day till the rest of their life. Doesn't matter what's in it.
It doesn't matter what's in it, does it? I think Dan put the comment before, you know, if the government told them to eat shit sandwiches, they probably would, you know. It's incredible what we saw, right? Because truly, when you look at how insane the whole agenda has been, and particularly in light of what you've been talking about tonight, when it comes to our health, those basic things, they told people to do the absolute opposite of everything that was healthy. They shut down the gyms. They made people stay inside. They kept people out of sunlight. They closed the playgrounds. They isolated people who were desperate for human contact. And I think, like you said before, the cherry on top, so to speak, was when they made people scared to breathe air, right? The most fundamental thing to life is breathing air. And they said, no, that's scary. We're going to suffocate you. You can inhale your own bacterial excrement. But not only is the air scary, but guess what's not scary? This mystery medical potion. We're going to shove it straight into your arm because some politician on a television told you it was safe and effective. This is like how bad the mass formation psychosis got. We were scared to, people, when I say we, the masses were scared to breathe air, scared to stand within 6 feet of someone, but brave enough to take a medical experiment 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 times. Radical, man.
Well, what we see, not only for the like, I've been awakened in the last 4 years, but now I see like how it's been last 20 years, that it's disempowering people to believe in themselves and to take care of their own life, their own health. Just don't do it. Just do what we say. Just don't think is the message. What I see that mainstream is like a pushing, that you can't be in charge of your own decisions.
Yeah, thinking is dangerous. I like that meme. It says thinking is dangerous, not just my government. And as they're walking down the beach holding hands. It's like,
yeah, it's like, you know, think why it's illegal.
yeah, I like that shirt you made.
Yeah.
I like that shirt you made. And Vic, I want to talk to you as well about you know, the importance of physical conditioning as well. Like you ran a gym. I know you're doing a lot of holistic stuff. Like you're very, you know, diet nutrition focused as well, and you're using your energetic you know, resonance tools and so on. But talk to me about the sort of movement that you're into. You know, people who see the sort of stuff I do a lot of functional movement. I like to lift some heavy stuff as well. What's your I guess your preferred style of training and frequency as well?
Well, functional movement is the best thing you can do because you train multiple muscles or muscle groups at the same time. But I wouldn't say not lift heavy is good. You create a lot of new mitochondria, you create new muscle mass, which the older we are, the more difficult it is. So keep the muscle mass on is great. Keep the fat off is great. But what I'd say that even more important is to keep flexible. The flexibility could be yoga, could be just stretching with breath, you know, just like a stay on the top of it, because we don't see the degradation day by day. You don't see that you can't touch your toes today or tomorrow or day after. If you're not going to do it, you're going to get less and less flexible. And the less flexible we are, the more prone we are to injuries. And injuries after 40 years old are dangerous in the sense that we go really quickly out of shape, and it's really harder and harder to get it back. So flexibility, endurance, training at least once a week, get your heart rate to the max. Doesn't have to be long. You know, could be like a staircase where it's 100 stairs, do it 3 times. You know, do it 1 minute up, walk slowly 5 minutes down, get your heart rate as high as possible, and then cool it down, and do it 3 times in a row, once a week. That's the training for the heart. That's where just the heart gets, you know, that's when you get a car or motorbike and you go and just like give it full throttle and just like burn the bad stuff out.
Do you reckon I was having a conversation with a friend of mine because you know my assault bike, right?
Yeah.
And I do that Tabata round, which is 8 rounds of 20-second sprint, 10-second rest. It goes for 3 minutes 50. And it's horrible, right? If you guys have never done 8 rounds of Tabata on an assault bike, it's the spiritual experience. Like it's so brutal, and where it takes you mentally and physically in this short period of time is crazy. But it's proper, like using that example for a vehicle or a motorbike. It's like you're going to the red line. You're taking your cardiovascular system to the absolute maximum it can go to. Is that something you would only do, you know, once a week, as you're saying, or could you do it more often, or do you think it causes some degree of stress on the body as well?
Well, I wouldn't do it more than twice a week. Because, you know, everything in moderation, even moderation in moderation.
Because that's my sense is that, you know, I've got a friend of mine, Ivo, on the chat, right? And he bought an assault bike, and he's trying to catch my record on the assault bike. My record is, I think, 76 calories in 8 rounds, and he's at about 73. So I'm trying to get a little bit higher to get a bit of space on and get a bit of distance, bit of breathing space. But man, I did this thing the other day, and I'm like, man, this has got to be stressful on my body. Like my lungs were burning, I was wheezing and coughing all sorts of stuff out. Like, yes, it blows out the pipes, but it's obviously putting a significant amount of stress on the body too. Yeah.
Yeah, like 8 rounds is brutal. 8 rounds is brutal. I'd say like a 3 or 4 times to get to the high is enough to get your vascular health in optimal position. Do it once or twice a week. You know, if you have it as a warm up, you know, don't do it like a all out. Do it like a max, which should be like a 180 minus your age,
right?
Or 200 minus your age is like the way you should get it up. You don't have to measure it. Just go all out. Just go to the point where you really can't talk, where you can't like catch your breath, and then you need literally a minute or two just lay down and just like walk slowly to catch breath again. Like once or twice a week, no more.
That's enough.
I would rather focus then. I would focus more on the lifting and definitely on the stretching.
Support saying I need to do some yoga, bend and stretch, reach for the stars. Hey Vic, we've got 10 minutes left on the call because we do keep them to an hour. But for everyone who's still here on the call tonight, I really want to challenge you all to look at your habits because, you know, I'm sure many of you get the sense that things may get a little bit wild in the next 12 to 24 months. And especially coming up to the end of this year, it just feels like there's a lot of stuff on the cards. And whenever we are stressed out or under pressure, we're going to go to our habits. And for some of us or some people, those habits might not necessarily be healthy. It could be Netflix, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be scrolling, it could be pornography, it could be anything. And so I want to talk to you all about changing habits. You know, I committed to 90 days of alcohol. I got about alcohol free, sorry, 90 days of alcohol, 90 days of no alcohol, I should say. But I got to about 37 or 38 days. And then at dinner the other night with a friend, I had a glass of wine. and I've had a couple of drinks over this weekend. So I've come back into that habit. I'm going to start again tomorrow, actually. Get back on that wagon. But Victor, talk to me about breaking habits, because our habits come back when we're under stress, under pressure, and so on. How do we break that? How long does it take? What do you suggest?
Well, there are studies that they select. Someone says 21 days, somebody says 60 days. What I would say, that do not do it by yourself. Get yourself an accountability partner because you betray yourself first. This is like doing it by yourself. It's really tough. But if you have somebody who you are accountable to and accountable for, who just basically like you say, all right, I've been good today, I've done it, perfect, right? But you get to the point, let's say now you had a 37, 38 days and you slipped, not a big deal. Just don't take it that you failed and you go back to your habit. Just take it, all right, I just, had a little hiccup, and pick it up tomorrow and continue. I wouldn't even say that just you didn't do 90 days. You just let one hiccup or one weekend where you slipped, but continue on what you were doing.
Good advice.
The accountability partner is very important. Like we were running in Sydney when I was still in Sydney. We were running this program, call it the Awesome Mate Challenge, where I put together it was 10 people, and they were in couples. They even didn't know each other. They had their own numbers, like a phone numbers, and they had their own performance register, where they were the habits they want to do daily or the habits they want to avoid daily. And what they did at the end of the day, you just either put tick or cross if you did or didn't do the activity. In the evening, you just take photo of it and you send it to your mate. Right? So if it's something what takes you 30 seconds, right? Or something what you say, oh, I can't be bothered today. But the mental thing that you have to cross it and then send it to your accountability partner makes you to do it, because you don't want to betray them. You don't want to look bad in their eyes, because you fail yourself 9 of 10 times.
Powerful. Good advice. Now, I've been to your house before, Victor. You cooked me an amazing dinner. And you have the biggest supplement drawer and cupboard I've probably ever seen, you and Vasya. It's pretty crazy. Now, tell me, imagine you can only keep 3 of the most important supplements that you're taking. What would be the top 3? If you had to throw everything else out, there's only 3 that you can keep. What would you keep?
NMN, which is precursor for NAD, which is pretty much like the building block what our body makes energy from.
That's the one you got me, yeah?
Yes, that's what you have. And it just, after how much NAD you are able to produce when you're 20 and when you're 40 is 50% down.
Wow.
And then the body doesn't have enough energy to be in a peak state, to have the genes and the epigenome be read the right way, so the cells they stop dividing properly. They just having a different hiccups. I always have this analogy that when you have a low ink in your printer, it doesn't print well. That's where you need to supplement with the NAD precursors. So NMN, number 1.
So it's Enfinelli, Enfimeri,
Enfinelli.
Nicotinamide
mononucleotide.
Okay, we might have to put that in the chat after the call on Telegram. Maybe you can get us a link for that.
Another one would be NAC.
Yeah,
N-acetylcysteine. Yeah.
Why is that so good?
That is a precursor for glutathione, which is one of the most important substance created in your liver, and it's present in so many chemical reactions. Where Vasya, my partner, would tell you more about it, because she is actually supplying a naturopath grade supplements to naturopaths. So she's expert in it. So if you Should have
Yeah.
brought it before that.
Yeah,
But-
we'll bring on the next one. Okay, so NMN, NAC, and what's the third one?
What would be the third one? Well, I don't take that many. So, but like what I'm taking now as a supplement is C60, which is stands for carbon 60. It's like this Buckminster fullerene molecule. It's a 60 atoms of carbon in one molecule that is indestructible, and it's very potent antioxidant. It doesn't degrade, it doesn't break down in the body. It has got very strong ability to attract and attach different nastiness in the body and take it out without breaking down. So different supplements, different drugs, they have a residual substance they stay in your body even if they're not active anymore. This one just leaves the body the way it got in, but with attached impurities to it. Great for detoxification, great for inflammation.
Beautiful, man. Awesome stuff. Hey, Vic, last question before we wrap up the call. First thing that you have when you wake up in the morning, very first thing.
Water.
That's it, just straight water.
Straight water, and I jump on a mat and I do my breathing exercise. 20 minutes, then I get out and I have NMN. And then I don't do breakfast.
Me either.
So one thing what I would even say, eat less often.
Yeah, straight up. Eat less often. Hey man, it has been awesome to have you on the call tonight. Any final words before we wrap it up? Any tips to anyone out who's struggling out there to make a commitment for their health? I'd
say come and try our amazing VAVI studio. We have like a special offer as well. If you come and book a 90-minute, we do 60, 90, and 120-minute sessions. And if you book 90 minutes or 2 hours, you get our glow serum as a bonus. And it's amazing. This ingredients is just like all cold press. It's marula oil, kakadu plum oil, C60, and blue lotus oil. Smells great, works magic. For girls and guys, they love it.
Vic, I'm just trying to put your website here. It's vavi.com.au. I've just put that in the chat, everyone. So please feel free to visit Victor's website and take him up on that offer. Come up to the beautiful Northern Rivers for a visit, or if you're local, book an appointment. But Vic, it's been awesome to have you, man. Good chat. The hour went very quickly, hey?
Thank you. It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. So the recording will be up on the website very soon. And I just want to thank everyone who's been here on the call tonight and enjoying the chat. I'm just going to see if I can, I'm going to unmute everyone and we'll see if there's any cheeky trolls out there. But everyone, if there isn't, everyone can say, thanks, Victor, for a great call. And we'll do it all again soon, folks. And
Thanks, Victor.
There you go. Thanks, Deb.
Woo.
Thanks, guys. Good chat, Victor. It's awesome.
Have a good night. Have a good week, and breathe in the morning.
Breathe in the morning, hydrate, move.
Thanks, Victor.
No worries, Lola. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Thanks for the heads up.
Cheers, Morgan.
This is the guy from America.
Night, everyone. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Vic.
Bye.
Yeah.
Over and out. Bye for now.